You say hi?
Hi.
All right, everybody. We are going to do a quick screencast, and then I have to go play on the trampoline with this guy. Okay? So Mommy's going to finish her recording, and then we'll go play. Say hi, everybody.
No.
All right, go. Be gone. I love you. I'll see you in a little bit.
How many more minutes?
I don't know, like 10?
No.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, so this is what I've been doing since we've been last together because I figured you'd want to know. So since I saw some of the things you've been doing. So basically doing a lot with my son. So we made a fort together. I've been helping him with his schoolwork. That's him video conferencing with his teacher. And then his doing all of his schoolwork stuff. We did a STEM project where we created our own hour timer. See that? We made some train tracks. I've been teaching him chores. We've gone to parks with our dog. Let's see. Oh, that's home improvement stuff that we're trying to do. Hold on. Then we've done some art projects together. We've done a lot of reading together. We've done exercise together. We did some drawings together. A lot of stuff, writing together. Good Lord, we've been doing a lot of stuff. I had to teach second grade math, which if you know me at all, you know that math is not my favorite thing. So working on second grade math with him has not been fun because Anyway, so that's what I've been doing. That's been my days. I wanted to share this with you because I want you to understand that I'm doing everything I can to give you the education that I think you're going to need, and also to try to provide for my son. That means that as I was looking at the plans that I had for this week, I was going to give you a quiz today on the YouTube videos that were put out by the College Board. And I kind of decided not to do that. So I'm hoping that's okay with you. Instead, I'm doing my own videos on rhetorical analysis because theirs are kind of long, and at least together you and I can look at things part by part, and I can talk about things that they talk about on the YouTube videos, and you don't have to watch 40 minutes while the person is waiting for the kids who are online live with them to do some of the things. So I'm going to take a look at what we were looking at last time, which is this reading for Rhetorical Analysis Review. If you remember correctly, it was Susan Booth Lucci's speech to the American press about basically what was wrong with the American press. Let me shrink myself down a little bit more. And we talked about the first three paragraphs, and I kind of walked you through the rhetorical analysis of the first three paragraphs. So we start with the fourth paragraph. As a review, we were talking about juxtaposition. We were talking about identifying the role of the speaker and the role of the listeners. We've talked about creating humor. We talked about direct address of the audience members. And we've talked a little bit about connotative diction, like strong connotative diction to give a negative feeling. All right, so if we start paragraph 4, she begins with this: for what is good journalism all about? All right, so what is good journalism all about? Everybody, let's say it together. That is a rhetorical question. So she doesn't expect her audience to stand up and give an answer, but she wants them to think about what is good journalism because that's what she wants them to provide the American public. So she sets up this question to introduce the direction of her argument. So let's read this paragraph together, and then we'll come back and we'll go a little bit more into the details beyond the rhetorical question. On a working finite level, it is the effort to achieve illuminating candor in print and to strip away cant. It is the effort to do this not only in matters of state, diplomacy, and politics, but also in every smaller aspect of life that touches the public interest or engages proper public curiosity. It is the effort to explain everything from a summit conference to why the moon looks larger coming over the horizon than it does when it has fully risen in the heavens. It is the effort, too, to describe the lives of men and women, big and small, close at hand or thousands of miles away, familiar in their behavior or unfamiliar in their idiosyncrasies. It is, to use the big word, the pursuit of and the effort to state the truth. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is something that we've seen already, right? This is juxtaposition of ideas. So first, most of this paragraph is, but first she defines good journalism. And to ask the question and then to provide the definition allows the audience to think about her definition and to determine whether her definition is in fact their own definition. To achieve candor and to strip away cant kind of shows, what her definition is and allows them to think about their own definitions. Okay, and then we go into this series of juxtaposition. So she juxtaposes matters of state, diplomacy, and politics. Something big, matters of state, diplomacy, and politics are all big issue things that affect the world as a whole, to smaller aspects of life. And she contrasts that with smaller aspects of life that touch the public interest or engages public curiosity. Then she gives examples of that, explaining everything from a summit conference, again, a big event, something that affects the world, to the moon looking larger coming over the horizon, like the appearance of the moon. Then she contrasts the lives of men and women, big and small, close at hand or thousands of miles away, familiar or unfamiliar. So she always balances one idea with its opposite, juxtapose big and small, close and far, familiar and unfamiliar. So this is going back to something that she used in that first paragraph right there, where she talked about one thing and then juxtapose it with something else. So this juxtaposition is really important, and it sets up the idea that good journalism isn't just one thing, it is everything that touches on the state of truth, the truth. And the big word that she refers to here is truth. Now, why is that important for journalists, and why should that be important for journalists? Because good journalism is always concerned with the truth. All right. And so she wants to kind of set that up to show the big word is the truth. Okay. So now let's continue on. No audience knows better than an audience of journalists. Again, direct reference to the audience to remind them who they are and why they should be concerned. That the pursuit of the truth and the articulation of it is the most delicate, hazardous, exacting, and inexact of tasks. Did you catch this? Exacting and inexact. Delicate and hazardous. So we've got connotative diction, the word delicate and hazardous, exacting and inexacting, but we also have, again, juxtaposition of words, exacting versus inexacting. Consequently, no audience is more forgiving, I hope, to the speaker who fails to stumble in his own pursuit of it. The only failure this audience would ever excuse in any speaker would be the failure to try to tell the truth as he sees it about his subject. So again, she refers to herself and her relationship to the audience there to kind of remind them they asked her to speak this way and they need to forgive her for it. All right, now let's finish it off. In my perilous but earnest effort to do so here tonight, I must begin by saying that if there is much that is wrong with the American press, there is also much that is right with it. I know then that you will bear with me, much as it may go against your professional grain, if I ask you to accept some of the good with the bad, even though it may not make such good copy for your newspapers. For the plain fact is that the U.S. daily press today is not inspiringly good. It is just far and away the best press in the world. All right. Notice how she does this. This is so interesting. So this whole part is all criticism. What is wrong with the daily press, which is what they asked her to speak about. And then in the end, she contrasts what is wrong with the press to what is right with the press. Again, contrast. So she says, It is the best in the world. She criticizes them and then compliments them. When you criticize and then compliment, you leave the audience with a good feeling. It's that moment, that speaker's moment where you let them know, yes, you have done wrong. However, there is hope for you yet. And that allows the audience to kind of feel better about the situation that they are in. In this case, the press. There's a moment up here that I didn't get to when she says, describe the lives of men and women. Remember that she's speaking at the Women's National Press Club. So there's a reason why she specifically mentions women, and especially in 1960, is she wants to include them and she wants to make them aware of their place in this larger society that is typically interwoven with men. All right, so if I'm looking at this whole passage and I want to pick out the rhetorical strategies that I think are most important, let's think about them. Juxtaposition and contrast, right? This whole thing is juxtaposition and contrast, and that would be definitely one of the first things that I would want to discuss. I'd also want to discuss the way that the whole thing is organized. Criticism first, followed by positive comments second. I'd probably want to talk about that. And then I would want to talk about the relationship of her with her audience and how she brings that up over and over again in the beginning and towards the end. So what you want to do is you want to go through and you want to see speakers or writers' patterns. And you want to pull out things that you see happening frequently or that make a big difference. And then write about those things. You want to make sure that you write about the whole passage and not just part of the passage. Okay, I'm hoping that this is reminding you a little bit about rhetorical analysis. I'm going to come back probably after next week, and we'll be taking a look a little bit more about how you go about writing a response to this, okay? Hey, buddy, I'm still recording. Hang on. All right. So writing a response to this, and we're going to be looking at that after next week. Why I say that is that next week, Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to do reviews on Monday of SAT writing. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm going to do that. On Monday is going to be reviews of SAT writing. On Tuesday, going to be reviews of SAT reading. On Wednesday, you're going to take a SAT writing practice test. On Thursday, you're going to take an SAT reading test, practice test. So tomorrow or next week is all SAT stuff. And then we'll be done with the SAT. Friday, there will be no lesson because it is Good Friday, and you wouldn't have had school that day anyway. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all SAT stuff, and I'll be assigning you an online SAT practice test writing on Wednesday, reading on Thursday, and then we'll come back to your major paper 4 the following week when Easter is done, and we'll also come back to reviewing for the AP exam. Okay. I miss you all more than I can possibly express. I am hoping that you are doing well and that you are enjoying e-learning as much as you can. Please let me know by email, remind, or on discussion if there's anything that I can help you with more, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, or whatever I can do to make this a little bit easier for you. I miss you. Bye-bye.